Oh, hello, and we're back.
Mind if I take the lead a little bit?
Go for it.
Okay. So, a few things to talk about. Recently, we've gotten some constructive criticism,
Okay.
I would say. Don't know if you've seen the comments or not. They're not worded
No.
exactly in the way that you would constructive criticism,
Hmm.
but I've been trying to see the intent behind it. And while they're a lot of times rude, I think they're kind of right to an extent. We've gone stagnant. We are relying too much on figuring out our personas versus like finding things to actually talk about
Hmm.
that would hone our personas, our online personas. So we need something to help both of us shine, and something that forces us to, I think, write a little bit.
Hmm.
Something that we're basically. I drink so much coffee. Basically, we need to reformat a little bit, I think.
Okay.
So for the next couple episodes, I have an idea of something we should try.
Okay.
So for each episode, we're gonna have like a theme, and does not mean there won't be room for sick riffs. Of course,
Obviously.
there will just be less of it, and probably at the end. Each episode, we're gonna alternate who presents each theme.
Hmm.
Basically, this gives each of us a week to be lazy and a week to not be.
Hmm.
Um, and to actually write something, because I think we need something lightly scripted.
I agree.
Um, I'm kind of tired of being background noise for people vacuuming their living rooms.
Yeah.
So, um, I'm going for this to present a topic, just some notes and such
Hmm.
for about 5 to 10 minutes,
Okay.
and then you can have sure a sheet of
I
paper
know.
or
I was about to
something.
say I need a paper pencil.
Yeah, yeah. There's a notebook down there. Um, there's like a yellow notebook. I see that. Newspaper. It's kind of under some shit. Okay.
This is Management Information Systems 350 with Mark Rounds.
That's awesome.
That was a class that I took about.
See, we don't need.
Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Here we go.
Good job.
uh,
Yeah, dude.
oh, there.
If that doesn't work, there's that one. So, while I'm talking, you can write down thoughts and questions, and also something that you would think to maybe present later. Um, which would while I'm talking, it'll give you a chance to write down questions and thoughts where we can also, after I'm done presenting, we can gather talking points on there, possibly learning more and giving us more chances for sick ass riffs. Um, and while I am giving said presentations, yeah, we'll also think about a topic for next week. Um, and it can be anything. If you want to talk about skating, we can. It's just to give us we need to like write some
I
sort of
agree.
talking point aside from
I
just talk about skateboarding.
I agree.
Um,
I'm
but
on the
also
same
we need
page.
a little bit of bullshitting time, of course. Um, anyways, we'll switch it up next week and blah 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 blah. Hopefully we'll figure it out. Anyways, down to begin.
None of these pens are working very well.
That's awesome. How about that Sharpie? A pencil? Yeah, that's a good move.
We're gonna go with Old Faithful.
Yep, you can put that.
All right. Okay. Okay. So.
So I've prepared a brief little cliff notes about a person that I've been reading about for the last week or so. And I think this person is probably the best person for us to learn about for our first reformatation, if you will. Samson,
Mhm.
when I say hairy pussy, what do you think of?
I think of a certain parody film about a certain wizard that
Oh, Harry Potter porn.
yeah.
Very cool.
Hmm.
Well, I've been also reading about perhaps the hairiest pussy known to woman.
Okay.
This hairy pussy also turned the medical community upside down. We've all heard the trick of pulling a rabbit out of a hat, but what else can you pull rabbits out of? I found someone, Samson, someone who tried a few other places where rabbits can be stored and eventually pulled out of. One of the original pranksters, or silly gooses, if you will, it's the medical term. Born in Surrey, England in 1703, Mary Toft, for lack of better terms, took the world by storm and had her claim to fame after her riveting performance slash hoax of pulling rabbits out of her vagina. Now, Samson, what do you think I mean by pulled a rabbit out of her vagina?
Do you mean she literally shoved a hair up
Literally shoved
her
it.
vaginal cavity and tugged it out by the ears?
I did. In a way, yeah. It's not a metaphor or an analogy. It's a literal, for sure. Um, but why? Why would she? For the bit? For street cred, perhaps? All valid reasons. She is one of history's most controversial people who put animals in their orifices.
How many do you? Okay, sorry. Yeah.
She confused her family, the news, the doctors, and me when I heard about this little honey bunny, so I decided to do some internet sleuthing and figure out exactly what the deal with Mary Toft and her journey to claiming the title of most insane rabbit-induced medical hoaxes of all time, and of course to figure out exactly what's up, Doc. So, basically, Mary Toft, at the age of 25, attempted to pull one of the biggest medical hoaxes in history by stuffing dead animals, such as rabbits, into her vagina and then telling the doctor that she was giving birth, which, for the uninformed, is the perfect prank. Did Mary do this because she was hilarious? Unfortunately not. There's a slight chance that she wasn't exactly all there in her head. So, we'll get the sad stuff out of the way first. After Mary was born, skipping a few details at the beginning, she became pregnant with a person from a person. And during her time being pregnant, she was working in a field, which is the ideal job for pregnant women. And one day, while she was working with her friend and in the field amongst the plethora of pregnant workers, Mary saw a rabbit that was not in her vagina. And personally, whenever I see a rabbit that isn't in my vagina, my first thought is also to catch it, shove it inside me, rebirth it, and raise it as my own. With Mary and her friend, after a few valiant attempts to catch the rabbit, her and her friend were not able to get close enough. And now, where most people would just shrug it off and find another animal to cram in their vaginas, perhaps a bird, squirrel, or many bugs, Mary became emotionally scarred from losing this rabbit, which in a way made her famous, which in a way I respect. And now the unfortunate part, while Mary was grieving the loss of her rabbit, she also had a miscarriage of the person, which is a bummer. And those two events mixed around inside Mary and eventually molded her into somebody who in today's day and age would fucking murder on OnlyFans. But Mary yearned for rabbits to fill this void left by a child, so she did the only logical thing and started looking for animal parts. And now this might be a good time to ask, who got her human pregnant the first time so that she could work in the fields? Mary did in fact have a husband. He was a journeyman named Joshua Toft. A journeyman is not a person who sings Don't Stop Believing. A journeyman is somebody who learns a skill and then does work involving that skill. So I guess we're all kind of journeymen if you think about it. He also owned a Bagnio, I think is how you say it, which is a brothel. They should call it Vagnio. Anyways, and now that's probably all we're going to hear about him, except, until later. And now, back to this Harry and Mary, this soft and toft, this lap and labia. What exactly did she do? Obviously, a rabbit went in her snatch. But, how did that go down? What is to gain? Back in the day, gulp, any child that was born with a deformity was called a monstrous birth. And back in the day, we didn't have YouTube. So, nobody could watch the Pretty Good podcast. So, people looked elsewhere for their entertainment. People would pay money to just go look at some fucked up kid. And honestly, I probably would too.
Mm-hmm.
It's also probably fun for Mary to be an attention whore. And aside from Mary's obvious mentee B, she probably also saw a financial incentive to pretending that she could just crank out any animal part at moment's notice. And also, how funny is it when doctors get embarrassed? Who would have thought that an industry full of dudes wouldn't have been able to agree if a woman had real vag rabbits or not? She humiliated the whole medical community. They were probably just as knowledgeable about this as they were about a clitoris. Sort of. Apparently, a lot of the doctors were in fact quite skeptical, but eventually the doctors grilled her enough to where she folded. There were two main doctors that wanted to figure out this case of this phony coney shenanigans, and one of them believed Mary was legit. He believed her so hard that he took the post-vaginal rabbit pieces to the King and Prince of Wales, where a second doctor gave him a little look-see. And he found that the rabbit's guts had straw and grass in them, which didn't make any sense because Mary didn't eat those things, we think. Now, were rabbits the only animals they found in Mary's lying lips? Of course not. There were reports of pig and cat parts as well, but rabbits seemed to be the easiest for Mary to cram up there. Apparently she really wanted rabbits, but she couldn't afford them fully grown, so she just had to buy, small dead ones to put in her vag. Now, how did she get caught? Where did she slip? How could such a straightforward, awesome, and foolproof plan possibly backfire? Much like any hoax or crime, the more people you get involved, the more likely someone is to slip and rat on you, or in this case, rabbit on you. After a while of constant supervision from doctors, she strangely stopped producing animal parts, but she still acted like she was in labor. She was also going crazy, which was probably a sign of toxic shock, or maybe she was actually onto something and was slowly turning into a dead rabbit. What if the vagina zombie rabbits caught some of Mary's stem cells in her vagina, effectively turning her into a crazy zombie rabbit lady? But the final piece of evidence, aside from these crazy theories, and her confession that eventually came, her final piece of evidence came from somewhere that's known for being full of hairy pussies. Mary's husband owned a brothel, and Mary had a room there. And one day, a porter in the brothel was caught trying to sneak a tiny dead rabbit into her room. Word on the street was that Mary told her sister-in-law to bring her the smallest rabbit she could find. Heaven knows why. But basically, that's the cliff notes of old Mary Toft. After they got the last of the animals out of her, she spent a little bit of time in jail, where apparently they fuck like rabbits. But she got out kind of early, and the courts didn't really pursue the case further because they were scared that they would find more information that would further embarrass the doctors. And then later on, she died. And then much, much later on, the movie There's Something About Mary came out, and they're definitely related. And that's Mary Toft. Thoughts?
Good job.
Yeah. This is Learning with Loggers.
I like that. I like that title.
Yeah, pretty fun, right?
Great story.
Fun story, right?
Fun story. In England, this happened
Yeah.
in the 1700s.
Mhm.
Okay. She was 25 when she first shoved her first rabbit. First rabbit, 25. Shortly after
24.
miscarriage.
Yeah.
But she did have the idea to put the rabbit up there before she had the miscarriage, or was that just part of the
pregnancy before knowing about the miscarriage and the rabbit encounter overlapped.
Okay.
Then miscarriage, but also
So
wanted rabbit.
So she had already wanted to put a rabbit up there before she had miscarried.
We don't exactly know like if she wanted the first rabbit with the intent of shoving it up there.
She might have just wanted to catch a rabbit because it was cute.
I think she was a little kooky the whole time.
Maybe she was just like kind of a pixie manic fairy girl that wanted to catch a rabbit and, just doesn't have the right lithium meds yet.
Could be. And, the miscarriage will mess with you a little bit.
That's true, too.
She wanted a kid and,
She was trying to catch the rabbit before she miscarried. The first rabbit. That's true.
At
like
first,
she
was like, I'm going to have a rabbit.
Like there was a story of her like pregnant in a field.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to catch this rabbit. While I'm still pregnant, and then maybe like her like jumping around on her stomach trying to catch a rabbit, maybe had something to do with the miscarriage. Maybe
she was hopping to the rabbit.
Like if she dove onto her stomach while pregnant to catch a rabbit, because that's how I imagine catching a rabbit. Right? Is like you run, like you kind of crouch, sneak up on it a little bit, and then you jump at it and dive like hands first to try to catch it. Perhaps. Like how many times? I'm not trying to blame the victim here.
What I
Okay.
gathered, they don't exactly say what the specific incident was, but
Yeah.
it was her and the average is her and her friend trying to catch a rabbit that they found while they were working. And
Okay.
they didn't, and that fucked with her.
Okay, and then she had the miscarriage, and that fucked with her more.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Well, now I'm definitely gonna put some rabbits up there."
I think it just like switched the wires of like maybe she thought I don't know.
Well,
The
you've heard.
rabbit and baby got switched where they were, and yeah,
Well, there's also like postpartum, depression, where like
Sure.
women think they have to drown like all their kids. That's happened.
Yeah.
So like it's a fucked up situation. I could see how it could make someone's wires get crossed a little bit.
Totally.
Okay. You said also she was one of the most well-known people for putting animals up in them.
Mhm.
You don't happen to know how many other
No,
well-known.
no,
Okay.
I
Okay.
it was more of just a way to get specific to, because I'm sure she's not. I'm sure there's plenty of other bigger medical hoaxes that are crazier than that.
Okay, that's the
I was
medical.
just trying to be like, she's the most like controversial person who shoves rabbits in her vagina named Mary, sort of thing.
Copy that. Copy that. Copy that. Okay. Um, all the animals that she put up there were dead already.
Yeah. Yeah.
She never
They
put
were-
alive. It wasn't like a magic. It wasn't actually a magic show that she did like at like a freak show or a sideshow where she'd be like, "And now, Mary, the mother of nature," and
They
she
had
like
little
pulls.
lambs.
Yeah, is that where that comes from?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe just Mary had a little rabbit, and also there, like, Mary had a dead rabbit that she.
Because you also
Her
said
vagina
that
red
she
as snow.
did put others up there, like
Yeah.
pigs and cats.
Well, so it was.
So lambs are clearly within the well range of pig to cat. If you're like on an animal farm animal,
She put chunks of animal, like they found like a pig's bladder in her, and like
Oh.
a cat foot and shit like that. They pulled a few fully little rabbits out of her, but
okay, how do we know she's not trying to absorb their powers?
that's why I said she's turning into a zombie.
Okay.
Maybe she got some stem cells in her snatch, and the rabbit spread from there.
And straw and grass.
Well, that was when the doctors looked at the rabbits they found in her, and the rabbits that had.
So the
guts.
rabbits were like full carcasses though.
Yeah, but like little. I think there were also some chunks of fully grown. There was like bladders in them, and she would like kind of just mash all the meats up there to make it seem like a placenta or something.
And then her husband and she just did she go in like multiple times to different doctors being like I'm pregnant going into labor and then they like go to like deliver it and she like delivers
Well, it was more
animal
like,
parts?
It was more like she did it with one doctor, and then that doctor's like, "You guys." Fucking, and then every doctor was like, "Holy shit!" And then a lot of people started hearing it. But it was basically like she would say she's in labor, and act like she's in labor, um, and then they would pull animal parts out of her, and then they'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" And then after a while, they just watched her all the time, and then it got to where she was just acting crazy, and they didn't pull any other things out of her, and then they were like,
And then you said after a while,
"Yeah."
how long?
I think it was like a year or so that she. Yeah, no, it was less than that. It was like sometime like halfway through whatever year when she was 25, and then the whole thing kind of fizzled out around January.
Okay, so it was like a 6-month kind of period of like
Yeah.
being monitored and pushing more animals out.
Yeah,
And,
so she kept acting, like she was in labor, and they
Mhm.
would just rip a fucking foot out of her or something. A rabbit's foot, a lucky rabbit's foot.
my first impression was this was like the first like female magician to actually like go ahead and like do a trick on the road, pulling rabbits out of which she sort of did. I think it was a prank. I think she was being funny because it is really funny, especially during those times, like the early 1700s. Like everyone is like reading the Bible and shit, and she's out here like having animal parts. They're probably freaking out, dude. I bet these guys were like thinking this was the second coming of, like, or like the coming of the Antichrist. Like I bet they were fucking tweaking. Like she probably, was thinking like, yeah, my. Like you lose a child to like or whatever, and then you're like, what do I have to live for? You know what? I'm gonna make all these doctors fucking freak the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like they just got past like thinking that weird women are witches. So like,
They're really not quite past that yet, I don't think, in
think they were.
1728.
From what I read, is like they would have fucking burned her and called her a witch, but like they were just kind of getting to like, it
Yeah.
was within that transitional period.
Well, like the Salem witch trials were in like the 1650s, I think, and that was in the US. So, and like, so yeah, this is a little bit after that, like a generation later. They might not think witches are a thing anymore.
They were starting to move past it.
More into
They
like,
were like, maybe she's not a witch.
they're like,
Maybe
we'll just
she's-
throw her in a sanitarium or whatever and call it
maybe
good.
These rabbits aren't, from the devil.
Copy.
Um,
This is super interesting.
Mary Toft.
Mary Toft. How did you find out about Mary Toft?
Me and my friend were talking about bestiality or something. And
Okay.
he was like, have you heard of Mary Toft? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, she fucking shoved animal parts in her and then convinced doctors that she was giving birth to animals. And I was like, shut up. And I looked her up, and yeah, she's real. There's hella articles about it's a lot of fun reads.
Okay, I bet.
There's a chance I got a few things wrong, or maybe some timeline. So if I did, and more lore about Mary Toft,
I would love to hear it in the comments or see it.
give me a
or respond.
rudely worded, constructive criticism.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'll listen.
Yeah, please. I wanted to tell you something that someone told me after the open mic on Monday.
Okay.
A random lady came up to me and told me that you were her favorite
Oh,
and that you give off Jesselnick vibes.
I don't know about. All right.
I this is literally, she's a gal, she's like an older, like in their maybe 40s,
No, I'm pumped. On
and
that. I just,
seemed like a hip like gal who
she knows Jeff.
pretty attractive, and
That's what we're getting.
no, I'm just saying, like, yeah, smart, like an educated, like middle-aged woman said you were her favorite and that you gave off Jesselnick vibes, and I wanted to tell you that.
Well, thanks for telling me, and thank you to her. That's
Yeah.
very nice. I'm just trying. I mean, I guess we're both at very, chiseled, fine jawlines. and stuff,
She
and-
she elaborated a little bit into like your delivery and your writing. She said the delivery and the writing was just like very, like the way he delivered it was very like dry, but also like enunciated well and with like a good illustration. She didn't say that. But she said something along those lines, and I was like, wow, I'll have to tell him this, and now I'm telling you because I just saw it in that presentation. That was
very Jesselnick.
I don't know if it was Jesselnick, but it was just a good performance.
Well, thanks. I hope it was a fun listen.
It
and
was.
If it's wrong, correct me, and we will correct it in the episode after this.
Mary Toft. I'm very okay. So, what did and then how much later did she die? When did she die?
Oh shit, hold on.
So she like didn't die from like shoving the animals in her pussy?
Well, maybe
like,
long. It was,
People just kind of like forgot about it and she just like went on to live her life?
no, yeah, literally like.
Because she's only 25. That's young.
She went to jail for a little bit, and then she got out because the doctors didn't want to be embarrassed anymore. And then from what I gathered, she lived a fairly normal life after that. The only thing that would happen is every once in a while there was one of the doctors she knew who would take her to like give presentations and stuff to be like, look at this medical miracle. But it was more like, look, she fucking hoaxed us. Hoaxed.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but she died like not a long time after, but she got a few years in.
Okay, so and how long, do you know how long she was in jail for?
Literally like a few months.
Oh.
Like, yeah, not a long time at all.
And did she stay married to the journeyman? Brothel owner? Journeyman/brothel owner?
I don't know. We can find out. Let's see.
I'm like really interested in how long she made it after doing this.
This is what this time is for us to
'Cause-
to hone.
Also, can you answer what is toxic shock for me, to be honest?
So have you heard when the girl leaves a tampon?
I've heard that, but like I just like what happens? Like you said it makes people go crazy. Is it like kind of just like any other infection or like a syphilis that's like where it gets into your brain, Like I don't understand it, I guess.
Well, it's
I understand the concept of leaving like something bloody and not like I understand how So to me, toxic shock sounds like it makes a lot more sense when you're sticking like, animal parts up there. 'Cause that sounds toxic and shocking. And leaving a tampon in for a little too long, that doesn't sound toxic shocking. That sounds like, like maybe
Well, I think usually in extreme cases, it can get like to where it could like kill you,
yeah.
be like gnarly. But generally, it's like a bacterial infection
Okay.
that it's you get like
You get
rashes and maybe a fever.
But you get like maybe like a penicillin shot or like some
Yeah.
amoxicillin to take orally and it probably goes away as long as you take the tampon or dead animals out.
Yeah, it can be very harmful.
Condom, I bet a condom shoved up there would give it to someone probably.
I think a condom left up there.
Yeah, like if it gets like left up there and shoved up there, you know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen that happen? Terrifying moment. Have to say, not from a guy I knew, not me or anything, but someone I knew.
Stuffed in your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Can
Mary
men
Toft.
get toxic shock? Is it just from anything being in your blood that's like not supposed to be in your blood?
Honestly, I don't totally know.
Because does it apply only to pussies? Like, can I get toxic shock if I get like a bacterial infection in my arm? Is that toxic shock? Is it all toxic shock? Is it just a bacterial infection? I'm sorry.
No, I like it. You're ramped up. It's fun. It's just non-menstrual causes of toxic. You can get it from a scrape or a cut. Post-surgical.
It's just a
infection.
general fucking infection name,
It's
isn't
like a
it?
blood infection. I think
That's fucking misogynistic, dude. That everyone thinks that it's about pussies. Toxic shock's literally just an infection.
Yeah, and no one's. Yeah. That's what's the most common, all right? Settle down.
Son of a single mom, I gotta do it.
Do you wish you had toxic shock?
Well, maybe now so that I can be like the most performative like I can be.
The point is, Joshua stayed married to Mary. They had three.
They did.
3 real children.
They did.
Together.
Oh,
They had.
that's such a happy ending to the story. What?
Yeah.
Did they have kids before the miscarriage then already when she was doing this? Wait, now I'm confused.
Married, Joshua had 3 children. Incidents are 26 years. Oh, I guess they did get divorced. No, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he owned a brothel. I'm assuming that marriage was loose.
She died in 1763.
Okay. At age 59.
1726. She got like a good fucking chunk of time.
That's a long time for that time period, I feel like. 59 years?
That's not bad at all.
Because you said she was born in 1703, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had a good run.
Wow, that's amazing. And she had 3 real kids. Does it say when her kids were born?
I did. Oh, Mary Toft, 1703 to 1763. Toft was a 25-year-old illiterate servant married to Joshua.
Illiterate. That's tough. She's a servant. Bummer.
Oh, she was second. Mary's second. These are all AI over. I don't trust them.
Yeah.
But I think I would say that maybe they got divorced probably midway through because she was going through some shit.
I'm so interested in these 3 kids, to be honest. Now, I really want to know if she had kids before this whole ordeal happened, or like if she like had all kids with her second husband.
Okay, 1920, married Joshua, had 3
Okay.
children. Mary, don't know when she was born, and then Anne, 1723,
Whoa, that's before.
and James, 1724.
Those are all before the
Before
fucking
rabbit.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
She just left her kids chilling while she was shoving animals up there and
She needed
stuff.
people to get the rabbits.
What were these kids doing, man?
Probably not hanging out with their psychotic mom.
They were like, I mean, they're in a brothel, so there's plenty of ladies around to take care of them, I guess.
Bunch of hairy.
This is so humans are so crazy, man. Like the human species, there's probably so many stories like just like this. Maybe not just like this, but like in this sense of like,
Sure, animals have been inserted into people since.
well, that's the other question that I want answered at some point is how many people have had animals and pussies as a job
You don't want that answer.
And
I know the answer.
I also
Statistics.
want to know just like how many people are famous for shoving animals up, because there's this famous Reddit thing, or I don't know if it's from Reddit exactly, but there's this famous internet rumor of like a guy leading gerbils into his asshole
Classic.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that happen? And what, like, or is that just always like gonna be a thing? And like, obviously, it came from somewhere, and maybe that's where it comes from.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't
These are
know.
all things that we might have to look into answering in the future.
Maybe that could be like the. Okay, so
So maybe
next
we do a
episode.
follow up.
Yeah, so you have your thing, and then right before that, we'll do like the corrections for the Mary
Mhm.
Toft presentation. We'll answer those questions, be like this, that, just a brief 5 minute whatever, and then we'll get to the next thing. So the beginning of each ep is correcting the last one, and then the middle is for a presentation, and then right after that is for sick riffs and asking more questions to be answered in the next one. What do you think of this format idea?
I really like this. No, this has me fired up. This is like kind of, I think, exactly what we needed to get
Yeah,
reinvigorated a little bit. I felt where whoever gave you that criticism constructively in that sense, whether it was rude or not, I mean,
it could have been worded better, but their heart was in the right place.
but like, I mean, there is some truth to it. Like that, we definitely got like, relying on just kind of like hopping on and just like being
You know,
silly or whatever, and not really have it where we used to like definitely come with more things, I think. And I mean, there's still been times where like I'll come with a list of stuff I want to talk about, but it's just different when you have,
it's like every 20 episodes, 2 of them will be okay.
yeah,
And yeah, we had one. There was one comment that was like 200 episodes, barely cracking 100. And I was like, first of all, a year ago we were barely cracking 20. So
exactly. It's
that's
all
cool.
about perspective.
Yeah, it has been getting better, but I agree. 200 episodes, we should at least be getting 200 views for sure.
That's probably true.
So each episode will have at least something that we have to talk about. And so I think this will be something to kind of shorten them up and punch them up and make them a little, at least you'll learn something.
No, I like this a lot. And as you know, this is something that I already, I love learning weird shit about things like this, and I always want to regurgitate them to you just in passing conversation. So this gives me a little bit more inspiration to focus up and write.
Avoid like rambling.
Yeah.
And like all this, I was just at work the last few days. I would read about it during just like when I would be scrolling on my phone, and then write down a little note here and there. And then right before this, I just arranged them in order. And then that was and I think it avoids just trailing off and just having a. I think we need to, write a little bit more as we should have, but not fully script it.
I agree. I agree, and I like the inspiration to like write more and just invest more time into like bringing something to the table.
I think we should save the podcast with like not really a structure for guests.
I agree. I think with guests it fits because it depends on if we know them well, or like if maybe they're like a bigger name comedian that's traveling into town and doing it as a one off or whatever. But yeah, guess is whatever. But yeah, when we're doing it solo, I think it's a good idea to maybe just have a loose structure.
Also, if it's quicker, it's less editing. I'm getting tired of editing hour episodes.
I get that. I totally get that.
Did you think of anything you would like to maybe research next week?
Yeah, I have a couple things I might want to do next week. One that I was thinking of initially was an artist, a comic book artist, a comic book artist from France who has been inspiring to like a lot of like modern art today and like modern media and stuff. Or
Oh, you're like leaving out information, so I don't. You're it's like as a surprise sort of thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. I was trying to like kind of
Okay, gotcha.
leave it out a little
Say
bit.
less.
But I could also do like I was thinking about maybe like someone like history, like kind of like what you did, like a historic, like a person from history with like a fun story kind of that happened to them. And I was thinking more of like a Wild West person, maybe, maybe someone that has like a personal relation to someone in my life.
That's it. Can also be like if you wanted to do like a news segment thing, like you
Yeah,
could just do a bunch of different topics, sort of thing. Just something just written out. The first 10 to 15 minutes, I think, should be the kind of half scripted part. And then the quick little banter thing afterwards. And then we're done. Plug our shows and get the fuck out of there. Know what I mean?
know what you mean.
I was writing with that pencil. Sounds like you're getting some friction. That's nice.
It honestly,
I can hear it.
it feels really good.
I like
I
hearing
haven't written with like a pencil like this in a long time.
Yeah.
Been writing with pens for a while now. I don't know what happened to me. And in college, after college, I just was like, I guess like adults write in pens. Real adults write everything in pen. And
What happened with that?
now I'm like, dude,
Maybe it's because we saw construction workers using the big pencils, like the contractor pencils, and we're like, fuck that. That's for blue collar people. We need pens.
that might have been it actually.
Pencils are awesome. I think it's just that the lead smudges, especially if you have a lot of stacks of paper and it can get it fades.
I don't like a mechanical pen. I think the reason I liked a pen is because I like the smooth roll of a fresh pen. I like the smooth roll of a fresh pen. But with a mechanical pencil, it does a scratchy thing that I don't like. It does this weird scratchy thing. I don't love the texture. It makes me kind of cringe. This though, this has this nice roll to it too, and I like that you can give things like kind of different shades. Even I haven't written with a pencil in a long time.
You're learning how fucking angles.
I'm
work.
relearning how
Calligraphy.
pencils work right now, dude. I
We should get
love calligraphy.
pens
That would
and
be fun.
Learn to write the alphabet letters or make cool calligraphy.
I really want
signatures.
to. I really want to learn how to write like Kanekami, like Japanese, like
Ooh,
with like the paintbrush strokes.
that'd be cool.
I think that would be really cool.
I think we should get and just we should have an episode where we make
I might.
cool
I might
signatures.
do my presentation on a manga or a anime. To be honest.
Do whatever you want. It's your time, But I guess just over the week, write down a few notes, and then yeah. Any other last thoughts or things?
We're gonna be in Salt Lake and Denver coming up. Probably right after or that week of this episode airing is probably the day before we leave, I imagine. So Wednesday, October 1st through the 3rd, we're gonna be in Salt Lake, potentially on some shows. We're gonna do some mics, but maybe we'll do some shows on. Haven't had much luck getting us on some shows in Salt Lake.
It's been kind of hard, yeah.
The guy there, Ryan, great dude, really good at booking his shows. So they're just booked out a long time in advance.
I mean, good.
And he's had a lot going on. But then we're going to be in Denver, and we're on a show in Denver on the...
We both are?
Yeah, on the 7th, I want to say. And I can't remember. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called. My phone's upstairs.
We'll just, I'll ask you and then put it right there. Just mouth like you're saying something and I'll... Oh, that'll be fun on that day.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Yeah, shows, I guess. Come to those. After that, doing that femme fatale thing, being a sacrificial fella.
Oh, fun.
The day we get back. But other than that, I mean, our open mics.
Our open
every
mics.
week.
Also, we're going to start... I'm committing to it now. We're going to do pretty good showcases before the open mic every Monday
Okay.
at Voodoo, starting when we get back. So it'll be that, so the first Monday of October, I believe, is the 6th. And so it'll be that next Monday in October. We'll start that.
Roll Tide, dude.
Roll Tide.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
We can slam our drink. How much more?
Cheers. I've barely any.
Oh, I have a lot. This has been learning with loggers.